Hello, welcome to Revelator Alpha live stream. Yes, on two wheels, and glad you can join me. Hopefully, people will be joining in for the chat later on. Lots to discuss about Harley-Davidson, of course, our global predicament, how is it affecting our ride, and what we're all doing to keep ourselves busy. I'll let you know what I've been doing for the last few days in and out of the workshop, and also we'll kind of have a bit of a Q&A session, and we'll have a bit of a quiz if people are out there. Now, you can either join in the chat or you can leave your comments below afterwards. Now, what this live stream will also be available on the podcast as well via the website. So just go to the website revelatoralpha.com. Say click on the one of the sidebar links, see the SoundCloud, Spotify, or iTunes, and you'll be able to download it there and just listen to it as at your leisure. Anyway, so I'll just crack on, basically. All right, let's give you a few updates of the channel, first of all. It's been really good. There's been great uptake, more subscribers coming on as well. So that's really good. Just broken through 2,000, which is fantastic. And hopefully it will just continue to grow. So some of the comments coming through, fantastic as well. Lots of good information out there. Nice to hear that people around the world are still able to do what they can do, and hopefully this live stream will and these series of shows will keep you company, at least, whilst we're all stuck indoors or at home to a certain degree. Sarge, hello, good afternoon, sir. How are you? Hope you're well up there. I hear I hear Boca's closed down for 3 weeks, have they? Or was it Chester? No, one of the Harley-Davidson dealerships is closed down for 3 weeks. I got an email yesterday saying pretty much very much limited service what they're offering now. I'll be doubtful if many are going to be opening their doors over the next couple of weeks as well, here in the UK, that is, at least. Obviously, this crisis, this virus is going all over the country, so it's difficult for everybody, I know, but hopefully, we can just keep our heads and, keep things as normal as possible. Guesto and Lane, good afternoon. Hello. How are you? Right. So now, what I wanted to talk about, first of all, I don't really want to talk about what's going on in the real world. Let's face it. I think we could all have a bit of light relief from that. So first of all, I'm going to tell you what I've been doing the last few days. Whilst I've been the last couple of days whilst I've been at home, well, first of all, the bike got a thoroughly deep clean. It's basically taken me 4 days, a couple of my work days and then a couple of my off work days, just trying to do it, and I've had a nightmare trying to clean all the ACF 50, all the road grime off it. Absolute nightmare. So there's lots and lots of cleaning product which I'm looking at, but lots of all those little tiny brushes which I need to get hold of. That's it. Antonio D'Amico, hello, sir. Hello, buongiorno, wherever you are. I assume you're of Italian heritage. Anyway, hello, sir. How are you? Anyway, so the bike got a thoroughly deep clean, and I've been going over it with a fine tooth comb and with a magnifying glass, looking at anything that may need a bit of attention, or let's face it, anything I can make a video out of for you guys as well. So there's quite a bit of info coming out, quite a few videos in store. So there's lots of new content coming as well. So daily videos, you're guaranteed of getting that, and motor vlogs as well. Now we'll continue to do motor vlogs because I am still allowed to ride my motorcycle, or any mode of transport, as I say, to and from work. I am still allowed to go to work, and so I will sort of combine those with any kind of topics I can come up with anyway. But look, it's I'm stuck at home, on my off days. I'm just at home, not going anywhere. And you know what? I'm getting around the house and I'm doing all those little jobs today. So this is the next part of this live show, as I say, which is available on the podcast as well. So go check that out if you don't want to watch my horrible mug. Lockie, good afternoon, sir. How are you? Right, so say we've been going through the bike, done all that. That's all good. It's all shiny. Then I went to try and go over all the little minor scratches that were on there. All those little hairline scratches were a pain in the butt, aren't they? York, good afternoon, sir. How are you? Anyway, so I've gone through that. I've cleaned it. I've polished it. I've done it all as best I can. Then I turn my attentions to, inside the man cave, the workshop. Basically, that side over there is my workshop-y type bit. And you would not believe the amount of, should I even swear on my own podcast? Oh, okay. The amount of crap that was in my drawers. Let's put it that way. Now, it got me thinking, actually, how much stuff do you hoard in your drawers in the garage, let's say? And you think, oh, one day I'll use that. One day that might come in handy. I've been finding stuff, old little bits and parts from bikes that I had years ago. The bike, the bobber which I built a few years ago, that's out of a CB750, Honda CB750. I've got a bag for little parts there. I don't know. I might just give them away. So if any of you are building a CB750 chop or whatever, there's a couple of little bits and pieces. You can have them if you want, or I might put them on eBay, whatever. So there's so much stuff. There's been bags and bags of rubbish just being thrown out today. I've been quite ruthless in my cleaning of the workshop. And look, I don't know, can I show you? I wonder if I can show you. Let me just turn this around and you'll see if I can show you. I don't know. Let's have a look there. There we go. For those of you listening on the podcast, I'm turning the camera around so people can see exactly what I'm doing. Now look how anally set up that is. Look at that. Hey, there we go. Coming back to me now. Woohoo! Right. There we go. Yes, Lockie, I have just said what's in my drawers. That's right. Not those kind of drawers, fella. So look, it's been one of those things. All those little jobs that have been niggling me for ages. I actually went on the outside of the workshop, and my guttering was a little bit like that. It was like wavy davy all the way along. So guess what? That was fixed. All the drawers out of my tool chest and everything was all thrown out and then all put back in again. And I stopped short of counting all my nuts and bolts. But it would be something. If I get really bored, I may have to do all my boxes of screws and do that. And a lot of things we do. You know what I mean? Things you need to do to keep yourself occupied. Anyway, look, here we go. Sarge, mine's a joke. Double garage, but only just enough room for my bike. Wife and kids think it's a dumping ground. Do you know what? When we moved into this house, this is exactly why I got this. I said, look, I'm paying for this. This is my space. You are not allowed to have any of your crap in here. And that's as simple as that. This is man stuff. Well, it's not man stuff. It's just stuff. For me, right? And then the garage, the garage is where I keep my bike. It's pretty much got everything else in there as well, but there we go. Anthony, you've been finding finding keys from your old bikes. I did exactly the same. I found a set of keys from an old bike. I thought, what the hell's this thing? There we go. So look, it's amazing what you got squirreled away in these drawers, isn't it? Or these cupboards. And you think, well, okay. And you think, I wonder I'll need that. Even now, even though I've thrown a load of stuff out, I've still got stuff in there. I think, do you know what? I'll keep that. You never know. Just in case I ever build a bike again. And maybe I need that. Do you know what I mean? Lockie, good to break the day up as I'm at work. Been as a locksmith with 2 shops. We supply council, hospitals, and the wife is in Barmer. Oh, so we are both at work, but good to have a break. Oh, okay, excellent. Well, Good skills, Esker. Good skills. Obviously, yeah. There's been a lot of confusion, hasn't there, over what are key workers over here in the UK and who are still allowed to work and who isn't, and it's a bit of a minefield. Like, I'm sure everybody will sort of settle down. As I said before, for me, it's hard to distinguish what is a key worker and what is a key worker, because you can have a few degrees of separation and everybody's at it. You know what I mean? Or everybody is valuable to society. Red Leader VFR V4. What a great name. What a great name. My garage is full of bikes, 4 and 2 push bikes. Great. And I have a 16-inch bench, which is piled high with what you call crap. No. It's not crap. It's called organized chaos. Because if it's anything like, if you'd seen my workshop before I started the live stream, it was piled high with full of crap, and so basically that all went out the window. I'm not having it. I've got into one of these cleaning modes the last couple of days. Now I'm back to work for the next 2 days and then 2 nights, but so I thought I'd tackle it now, and then on my next stretch of days off, I'm sure I'm going to go through it again, and I might even get to those little nuts and bolts as well. I know, sad. It's so sad that I'm going to do that. Lockie, yeah, being a locksmith and key worker. Sorry, yeah. I've just got it. I think I'm so slow. Very good, very good. Oh, brilliant. Oh, well, good. I'm gonna. This is just. It's not vodka in here, honestly. For the purpose of the podcast, I'm raising a glass to my lips to drink. Yeah. And slurping as well. Crikey. Anyway, so look, that's what I've been up to, and I've just been going around the house thinking, can I be bothered to do that? Now, the other thing, obviously, if any of you have children of a certain age, the biggest thing is when you're all at home is trying to keep everybody occupied. And as we know, child labor laws in various countries, certainly Western countries, have been taboo for quite a few years. Not when I was a kid, actually. I was working from the day I could crawl, pretty much, on farms and things like that. But in today's, mollycoddled society, as it were, children are not allowed to work. I've actually created a new way that keeps them occupied, keeps them happy, and also gets jobs done around the house. That's it. Put your kids to work. That's it. Nothing on the PlayStation. None of all that nonsense. Let them do the schoolwork and then just put them to work. So basically, I've had my son just going around the house, and then he comes up to me afterwards with the cheek saying, "Dad, can I have a $5?" I said, "Well, you have to work a lot more than that, son." Anyway, so put your kids to work. That's what I say. Don't do all the work yourself. You're going to be bored, but get them to do the work as well. Anyway. Mark, hello, Mark. Mark Hawkins, how are you? Your Sport Glide vids make for a great pretend ride out in these challenging times. I tell you what, Mark, I've actually got a couple of moto vlogs, and I'm going to do more, specifically around that. They're going to be kind of ride-along videos. I'm going to try and pick a few routes on my way to and from work that are going to give you that kind of sense of being on the bike. So you could either listen to my, my voice as I'm chatting along, or just turn the volume down, put some music on, and and away you go and listen to it. But they will be designed as first-person kind of point of view kind of things, where you can actually rock and roll with the bike as well. So there's a few more of those coming out, I'm sure. Look, we've got to do what we can do, you know what I mean? Just been on a job cleaning the bike after the off-road video. Yeah, there was. Actually, that wasn't so bad, because that's just mud. I've never had an issue with cleaning a bike off mud. What my problem was the because it's been covered in anti-corrosive ACF 50, which works a treat, and I got a couple of videos coming out on this. But the problem is everything just sticks to it, and road grime. So, and it's like a layer of grease that you have to scrape off. So, yeah, not my favorite product right now. So guess what? We've got 6 months to come up with a new product, an alternative to ACF 50 for winter corrosion protective. Otherwise, guess what? I'm either going to have to get a hack bike or I'm going to have to put the bike away for the winter. I think I'd rather just get a hack bike because I'm going to carry on riding. Anyway, yes, Sarge, the kids, they want a $5 off the Tooth Fairy these days. Absolutely right. Every time my missus said, when he was growing up, they said, "Oh, you got to put a $5." I said, "What? Are you kidding me? Are you what planet are you on?" And then she gives you that look. She goes, "You cheapskate," and you think, "Oh, you can't win, can you?" Anyway, but that's it. Yeah, I stopped short of a $5. I think £2 per tooth was just. I hope he's not listening anyway. He's virtually an adult now, but how kids are. These sensitive these days. Why? There's no Tooth Fairy. There's no Santa Claus. Bloody hell! Come on. Anyway, but. Oh dear. They do want a lot of attention these days. Anyway, so that's my answer. That's my solution to it. Now, by the way, can you all hear me very well? I've just realized that the microphone is all the way over there. There we go. I'm sure you can. Obviously you can, because you're commenting on. Anyway, right, so let's get on to Harley-Davidson news, shall we? Enough about me, enough about you. Look, we all know that we've got to see this out together, keep ourselves as isolated as possible, just do stuff around the house, get yourself active, keep yourself mentally active as well as trying to physically fit as well. But look, the Harley-Davidson news is interesting. I want to give it a shout out to one of the guys out on Instagram who contacted me on there. Guy called, don't know his real name, but Metric Life. And he said, "Lockie, there's no Santa." I'm afraid not, mate. I'm afraid not. Sorry. But you could say that Santa already bought you a present from that, that Sport Glide. You know what I mean? And that new dash that you've got, that instrument module. I like that, by the way. Anyway, if you don't know, go check out Lockie on Facebook. I don't know if you go to my Facebook page and go through some of the posts. I think you might find. Anyway, it's nice. It's really nice. Anyway. But anyway, so if you can hear me, that's great. So anyway, Harley-Davidson news it's a bit of an interesting one. I've become a bit of a stock market aficionado, I must say. So I'm constantly looking at business press. I'm constantly looking at stuff about various companies, but I'm not about Harley-Davidson as well. How they're going to react in the market and what can they do. It's not looking good for them, but it's not looking good for a lot of companies as well. A lot of companies are shutting down. They've had to close down a couple of factories temporarily, I think, until the 29th. But, now it's all kicked off in the States as well. So who knows what's going to happen. I think a lot of companies and a lot of dealerships, as I say, they're shutting down or have already shut down just to try and consolidate where they are and then just see what happens in the future. So if you're worried about your parts but you're not getting your parts before, guess what, you're gonna have to wait a little bit longer now. Somebody who was it before mentioned on one of the videos, or was it earlier on? I'm losing where I was actually. Somebody said they're actually having to wait 3 weeks up in, yes, right, I think it was Chester, have just shut down Harley-Davidson. They just were about to take delivery of their new bike and they're going to have to wait for another 3 or 4 weeks. Lockie, yes, it's a Dakota Digital MLX 20 or 2011. So that's the replacement instrument module. Really nice that one. But anyway, so Harley-Davidson as a company, as we know, have been in a lot of trouble. They've had the CEO change, but who knows what's going to happen with them, and can they have they got enough cash reserves? Many people are thinking that they'll go out for a handout, from the government as well. The United States government, they're putting out trillions of dollars now to try and save the economy, try and save people, whatever. I mean, it's just going to be tough out there. Not only as individuals but businesses. As I said right from the very start of this, I said the virus is one thing, but the actual economic impact on everybody is going to be huge, absolutely huge. So it's there we go. Lockie, here we go. Birmingham HD closed, but are still delivering ordered bikes. Okay, yeah. So I think the ones around here right now are pretty much closed, but they're open for certain things. So I think as of 2 days ago, they were severely restricting who could go there and all that sort of stuff. As of when we had the complete lockdown, I haven't had the update, so I don't know. I haven't actually been down there. It's only a couple of miles away, so I don't even know what their status is. But I say there's interesting and worrying times ahead for everybody. But as we're talking about Harley-Davidson, as we're talking about motorcycles, I think some of the other companies will fare better, like the Japanese massive. They're massive companies. Potentially Triumph will fare better as well, as it has a more solid footing in different markets, but they're a smaller operation as well. Obviously Norton, we know, have gone to the wall, and lots of ongoing issues there, I'm sure. And who knows what's going to be unearthed with it. I made a couple of videos about what's already been unearthed, and it's just a bit of a horror story, really. So who knows what's going to go on. I think Moto Guzzi have closed down as well. Ducati, I think, have closed down as well. And well, all the Piaggio, I think, have all shut down as well. It's changing by day, but as for Harley-Davidson, they're going to be severely impacted by this, because you're going to have people coming out of this thinking, do I really need this bike? Do I really need to buy this bike? So they were losing the battle anyway, and then all of a sudden this happens. Watch your space, people. But who knows? The other thing I wanted to talk about Harley-Davidson as well, as I say, I have to go back to Metric Live, who contacted me on Instagram as well. He made me aware of this story, and I don't know if have heard about this, of the Fat Boy that was from a 2018. I don't know if it applies to 2019, 2020, but certainly 2018. And this week, a story came from Australia, where a chap had bought a Fat Boy, and he got rusting or corrosion on the front forks. Cut long story short, he went to the Harley dealership, tried to get it under warranty. They refused it all. Harley-Davidson Australia refused, saying that it was purely a environmental factors, road debris that was coming up and causing the problem. They went to independent specialists and said, no, that's a load of rubbish. This has been the worst kind of corrosion that they've seen. And basically, if you ever seen front fork aluminium oxidization, whatever it is, you will see, it's obvious where it is. They've put it down to the lacquer over the top that was too thin. And then water's got beneath it, and then it started corroding from beneath it. No matter what they did, what they said, and even got the TV involved in on this, one of these watchdog type programs. Harley-Davidson from Australia, I believe it was only Australia. I don't think it all went all the way up the food chain back to the United States. But they put a stop to it, and they said, no, it's not our issue. It's just the way the motorcycle is being used. Anyway, so in the end, there was this independent specialist who, well, on camera, it says that he just offered to fix it for him and polish up the forks, the sliders again. But it doesn't actually say whether he's being paid for it or whatever. I've got a feeling I'd be very surprised if he was going to do that for free. But unless there was some deal with the TV company, I do not know. But anyway, look, it's definitely an issue there for that particular one. Now, what they're saying is where he was living initially, because he lives near the sea, there was salt corrosion and everything like that. And also where he was riding, there was a lot of debris on the road. That's what was causing it. And then they kind of changed their minds, to and fro about this environmental factors. But, other people haven't had anywhere near this. And they're basically putting it down to a batch issue of these sliders with a clear coat on it that is not protecting the bike. Now, I'm not sure how many other people have had fat boards or any other Harley Davidsons from 2018 if they've had this kind of issue. Personally, I've not heard of any other issues. I had a look on forums as well, just a quick scan. I've got to say I didn't look extensively, so if people out there know more about this, but so I hadn't heard of anything that was worth noting. Yeah, you got individual cases, whatever, but nothing like that. But anyway, he was adamant that no, it's not road debris, and you know what, it kind of looks like road debris, but at the same time there's no other marking on the bike. Now, if you take like the soft tails of now, you've got the voltage regulator that's right at the bottom of below the oil cooler, right? Road debris actually gets that, and actually that's one of my next little jobs, which I'll do on my next couple of days off, is to repaint that and repaint the oil cooler grill. So if you ever get that, get some black spray paint and away you go, awesome paint, and away you go, done. But so that gets lots of stone chips. So you can argue, understand, say, okay, yeah, that's too, in my opinion, that voltage regulator is in the wrong place anyway. It should be nowhere near there. It should be either further up or somewhere else on the bike. It's going to get chipped. So you either put some kind of grill on it, some kind of mesh on it, or you just accept it's going to get road chips. And then you just paint it up every now and again, or spray paint it every now and again. So that, you could understand. But the fork's there. And you think, well, he's only done 5,000 or 6,000 miles, and you've got to have a lot of road debris to come out. And also, you're not going to get the road debris that extensively off 5,000 or 6,000 miles because they're on the front. They're on the front fork as opposed to the back side of the fork. Now, you can have flying debris coming towards the fork, but you can have the debris that flings off your tire, and that can fling around to the back of the fork as well. There's nothing there. There's nothing there to suggest that anything like that was happening. So this is an interesting thing. Now, we keep on hearing from Harley-Davidson about their warranty refusals, they're voiding warranties left, right, and center. This could be just another thing that you need to be aware of. If it is like a rust claim or corrosion claim, they might be holding firm. So you might be on your own there as well. Which I was a little bit disappointed. About that. Anyway, so that's all I know really. I mean, there isn't, unless anybody else knows, I don't really know. Anyway, Anthony, here we go. I asked the dealer about the new oil filters, and they said they have not received any, and they are not on any new bikes coming in. Yeah, that's right. So there's the new. Well, exactly. With everything going on now, who knows? They haven't come out yet. They are making. I think this is a batch that will be coming out. The next series of batches that will be coming out. You got to think that some of those bikes that are coming in, it's still relatively old stock. So you got to factor there'll be the new bikes the new ones that would have been produced, and also the new oil filters that would have been sent out when they actually come online as well. So I don't think they would be available straight away. But there we go. Right. So anyway, look, that's it really from Harley-Davidson News. I said they're in trouble. Well, everybody's in trouble right now. But look, all we can do is just try and stay positive, keep ourselves active as best we can. I went down to the Harley dealership here, and they were kind of not sure what they were going to do. Quite a few people were still milling about outside. I had a quick coffee there, so I was off to go and do something else. But then I got the email saying that they're either going to be severely restricting movements in there. We know obviously dealerships are closing down as well. It's changing day by day, not only here but in other parts of the world as well. Obviously, Italy still massive issues there, but in terms of the restriction on movement and activity for everybody, it's pretty much shut down. We're pretty much heading that way, and I'm sure other countries will be as well. So it's difficult for everybody, right? But say Harley-Davidson, I say watch your space with them. What's going to happen if you're into you stuck for 5 minutes, go onto the internet, see what's happening with their stock price and some business news. There's a Milwaukee Business Journal that is always doing reports, articles on them as well. So there we go. Mark, I had a 16-plate Sporty. After 18 months, the front mudguard paint started lifting off. It did have the ceramic coating done by them. I took it in. They said it's not covered. Yeah, I've got a feeling because it's so close to the road, they're going to try and get out of this sort of stuff all the time. It's just like things like the clutch. Anything that's wear and tear, they're not gonna say. I mean, it was like a friend of mine. He had a 48, a sporty Sportster 48, and he had rusting all over the spokes. And I think he'd only had it about 8 months a year. Anyway, they at the time then they said no, it's not a rusting, it's not a warranty issue. But the bike looked like a bag of spanners. Really, it was pretty crappy for a brand new bike to have rusty spokes. And you know what you like once you see it, even the smallest little bit. For you as the owner, it's right there. It flashes up, doesn't it? For anybody else, they might not see it as much, but because you see it all the time. It's a big thing. But anyway, they were saying no. So I think their policy, I mean, I'd have to stand corrected here. Their policy, any rusting to the wheels on the brake discs and all that kind of stuff, it's not a warranty issue because they don't consider it to be any sort of defect on the bike. I do. I certainly would, certainly on spokes and things like that, but they don't. So I'm not surprised about the mudguard as well. That's why when I had my bike, if you go back in my videos, I showed you how to put vinyl wraps, vinyl coverings on all, as many areas as you can, and it's purely for that. So mine hasn't got any problems because basically I've got vinyl wrap on it as well. This is the forks, the fairing, I've got it on there as well. So there's, as far as I'm concerned, just wrap the bike. If I had to do it again, buy the Sport Glide again, one of the first things I would do, I would see about getting it vinyl wrapped in matte black. Honestly, I would do that, and just everywhere, the tank, the obviously all the the mud guards, everything. Just get it vinyl wrapped because it might just save yourself a few pennies in the long run. The whole fairing as well. But anyway, so there's lots of stuff you can do, but there's lots of stuff I'm sure that the manufacturer, the dealerships, but they're being told via the manufacturer whether they'll cover warranties or not. I don't think they will. Basically, I just don't think they will, which is really a shame. It doesn't do a lot for the credibility of the company, especially to any owners or any new owners or even older owners. Even older owners who might be leaving the brand because they think, oh, I'm just fed up of this. You're fed up of dealing with a company that just doesn't really care about us. And you think that's supposed to be big warranty concern with Harley-Davidson. While we always talk about it, because people have issues with them. Whilst I've not had any issues with it, you could already see that actually there's a problem here with the fairing, rubbing here or doing that. Now, for my warranty claim for the lower triple tree, the lower yoke, it was replaced, and they didn't, but they kind of haggled with me a little bit, but they said fine, but they did it. But I still had to cover it up again because the problem was still there. Same with the fork sliders, same with the fairing. I thought, I'm just going to get this covered because, it's. I just don't see them covering it as well. It's same with, protecting your wheels, giving those good cleans and everything. That's why I was making the videos about those, those maintenance of those wheels and the brake discs and everything. because they don't care about it. They even told me directly they don't care about. Well, when I say don't care, they don't see that as an issue. Therefore, it isn't a warranty issue for them. So there we go. Right. Anyway, look, I thought I'd make this a little bit different today. So if any of you are still here, or if you want to put in the comments below, here is we're gonna have a little quiz. We're gonna have a bit of fun, okay, with this. So I've got a whole series of questions. So I will give you 10 seconds to answer each one. Otherwise, we'll be here all day. I suppose I could drink and pop out. Should I just pop out and then come back again when you're ready to answer? Anyway, I'm going to give you a whole series of questions. There's 10 questions, right? And then I'll see about whether you want to answer. Right. So first of all, join in the chat and leave comments after this, and ask your questions as well. If you want to ask any questions as well for me, but by all means, go ahead, and I can use those for future videos as well. Right. Okay. So the first question is: are you ready for this? This amazing on two wheels in the house pub quiz type thing. Right. Okay. So the first one is: what was the first Harley-Davidson motorcycle ever made called? What was it called? And your starter is now. Go. I'm waiting. Oh, no answers yet. Am I alone? Oh no, people are leaving. Don't leave. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. Here it is. There we go. So the first Harley-Davidson motorcycle ever made was called, actually it was the 1903, but it went on to sell in 1904. It was the Model Zero. It was later called the Model 1, but it was the Model Zero, and it didn't really have a name. It was just a bike, an engine that was produced. So that was the very first one. It might have been given a pet name by by them, but no, that was the first model. It was the Model Zero, Model 1. Okay, 1903, then sold 1904, and then it was sold as a racer. Basically, they were little dirt racers or track racers. That's what the whole point was. And then they started building up their pedigree on this sort of mud tracks and everything like that. Right, next question then. Here's the next question. Where is it? Here we go. Right. What was the first Sportster engine called, and what was its size when it was first? And when was it first made? So, what was the first Sportster engine called? What was its size, and when was it first made? Any answers? Tumbleweed. Okay, that's me doing sound effects here for the benefit of the podcast, by the way. There we go. Tumbleweed. I'm just impersonating Tumbleweed going through. Anybody? No? Okay, here we go. So the first Sportster engine was the Ironhead, and it was 1,000cc, and it was first made. The Sportster here. This is definitely the Sportster, because there were precursors to the Sportster, and there was a lot of crossovers. But the actual Sportster was the Ironhead 1,000cc, 1957. 1957. Okay, right. Next question then. Here we go. Which Suzuki model motorcycle was named after a Japanese sword in 1981? Who's got that one then? Anybody? Now you can leave the answers in the comments below, obviously, and see what you think. But there we go. The first motorcycle model, Suzuki model, that was named after a Japanese sword in 1981. Anybody? And I'll just readjust myself, take a slurp of the old drink. Here we go. I feel like a public information broadcast here. So, hello, this is what do you need to do? Right, item 3. Okay, so the motorcycle was the Suzuki GSX 1100 Katana S, one of my favorite bikes of all time. Yeah, the katana, Japanese sword. And the Japanese katana is a curved sword as well. There we go. Right. So the next question then. Here we go. That's right. Sarge, katana. You just got it. Katana. I've just said it. Right. So there we go. I don't know. Your answers are coming through a little bit slower for some reason. Maybe it's just my end. I'll tell you what. I will wait until I see something. Then anyway, whatever. But you both got that right. Well done. And Anthony, the first of all, no, the Ironhead, and it was 1000 cc in 1957. It was right. Okay, so what was the next one? Right. Next question. What was the name of the hybrid motorcycle made from a Triumph and a Norton? What was the name of the hybrid motorcycle made from a Triumph and a Norton? Anybody this one? I wonder how much of a delay there is about me actually saying this and then you receiving it and then you putting the reply back. It could be, we could be here a long time. Yes. Here we go. It's the, is somebody going to say it? It is the, I'll give you a clue. It was a Triumph engine put into a Norton frame. The Triumph engine was deemed to be the better engine out of the two manufacturers, and the Norton frame, if you remember what that is, was deemed to be the better frame. So they married them together, and you got a Triton. Triton, it was called. Triton, there we go. So Triton motorcycles. Still very much in demand today. If you can pick up a Triton, they go for plenty money. Lovely jubbly. Right, okay. Next question then. What motorcycle was the Fonz riding in the opening credits of Happy Days from the 1970s and early 80s? So in the opening credits, he was riding a motorcycle, but what was it? Now, many people get this wrong. Many people assume that it's something else entirely, and there's a lot of confusion over it. But his main motorcycle, the one that he had in the opening credits and the one that he rode the most, was a particular one. He was seen on a couple of others, and he was seen on one particular type of motorcycle that that people saw. But there we go. No, it's not a BSA. It's not a BSA, but you're on the right track. You're on the right track, Anthony. It's not a BSA. And I'll tell you what it is. He was riding, actually, a 1952 Triumph Trophy TR5 500 cc. Great looking bike. Now, he was also seen on a Panhead, I believe, as well. But only in still shots, hardly ever riding it at all. On a few episodes, he was riding a Panhead. But most of the time, the one that he was frequently on, the one that was in the opening credits, was a Triumph Trophy, Triumph Trophy, 1952 to be specific. And apparently there was a 1949 Triumph Trophy TR5 that was occasionally on there, but he never rode it. And I think it was just a static display. It was never actually ridden. But anyway, yes, Triumph. There we go, guys. Red Leader VFR4 can hear loud and clear. That's right, 5x5. Thanks very much. Good man. Right, okay, next question then. Next question. Here we go. And what is a Norley? What is a Norley? Here we go. Right. Let's see if anybody knows what that is. A Norley. What is a Norley? Nolly. Nolly. Okay, it's not a donkey going. That's my impersonation of a donkey, by the way. God, it's too hot in here. Would you believe it's beautiful sunshine out there? Right, we've got beautiful sunshine, but do you know what? I'm having to go outside because the light outside is too bright. Of this is playing havoc with my settings, so I'm inside under fake lights here. Would you believe? Right, there we go. Any ideas what an Orlean? What is an Orly? Okay, an Orly is a Harley-Davidson and Norton hybrid, and it's basically Harley-Davidson Sportster engine in a Norton frame. Not very many of them about, but it's a Norley, and I think they were more popular in the northeast of the United States. That's why there was a couple of people making them out there as well. So that was the Norley, the Harley-Davidson Sportster engine in a Norton frame. Right, Paulie Norton. That's right. Yeah, Paulie Norton. Yeah, it probably was actually. Right. Okay. Next question. Here we go. Now, I think I'm right in this, but I'm not 100% sure. I shouldn't really be admitting this, really, should I? Because I am the quiz master of choice, by the way. But here we go. What was the biggest production engine size for the Shovelhead motorcycle, for the Harley-Davidson Shovelhead, right? What was the biggest production engine? I'm not talking about any alterations that you could do, any modifications, any variants that you could put into your Shovelhead, let's say, or any upgrades. I'm talking about what was the biggest engine size that you could buy brand new a Shovelhead. Any ideas? Any ideas? Let me just check here because I got to make sure I got this right here as well. Yeah, there we go. Any questions? Any questions? Right? No. There we go. So it could be. I don't know when you're getting this, so I'm just going to keep on talking here for another few seconds. I'm going to have another little slurp of my just liquid vodka and orange. A pint of vodka and orange, lovely. Oh, by the way, this is another thing that you can do with your friends. I'm planning to do it myself with my friends as well. I'm going to have a video drinking session, and we're going to play pub games with my friends. So basically, we're all going to set up like this, and we're all going to be drinking and just having a bit of a chat over it. So there we go. That's what you need to do. If you can't see your friends and you want to see some friends or family members or whatever, and you want to have a little drink with them, whatever you do, it doesn't have to be alcohol. You can, do the old orange squash if you like. And anyway, do some video socializing. You don't have to be cooped up. Yes, you have to be cooped up inside, but it doesn't mean you can't. You have to separate yourself from the rest of society. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to be doing video drinking sessions as well. So there we go. Right. Okay. I forgot what the question was. What was the question, everybody? Okay. What was the biggest biggest production engine size of a Shovelhead? And the answer is, just to make sure nobody's answered. Right, the answer is it was a 74-inch cubic inch engine, 1200 cc, 60 horsepower. I think I'm right. I could be wrong there because I've got a feeling there was one slightly bigger, and I've made previous videos of different Harley engines as well. And I've got a feeling since I made that and since I looked at that, I'm sure there's another, the back of my mind, there's a little niggle saying that there is a bigger engine out there. But there we go. Okay. Right. The next question then. Next question. Here we go. Right. Which Harley-Davidson motorcycle was most commonly sold during World War II? And what was the engine size? And who was the main customer? Anybody know this one? Okay, one of my favorite motorcycles of all time, the motorcycle that saved Harley-Davidson in that period, the one that kind of saw off Indian and really, gave Harley the footing, the foothold, the grab hold in the market during the war. But after the war. That's what really gave, because actually what happened was that servicemen were coming back from the wars, let's say, and they were not only getting into bikes because they wanted to have that thrill that they kind of still needed, but also some of them, were just wanted a different way of life, and then Harley-Davidson were there. Right, so here we go. Sportload rider Dennis, 50 cubic inches. I think these are, there we go. Anthony D'Amico, 1000 cc. Right, Sportload rider Dennis. Yes, the US Army. Correct, it was. And yes, they were making them from the mid-30s. Okay, the bike, and it was the United States Army was the biggest customer during the war years, and the engine size was a nearly 50 cubic inches. I believe you're answering that, Sport Glide rider Dennis. 45 cubic inch changes, and it was the WL. Well, it was a derivative of the WL, but it was the WLA 45. So the WLA 45 was the motorcycle of choice, most popular motorcycle at the time during the war years, but it did derive from the mid-30s. So Sport Glide rider Dennis, there we go. Look, there we go. Big up to you. Yeah, almost got that right. Well, you did pretty much. You got it right. Well done. Right, next question then. Next question. Here we go. Right, which Harley-Davidson motorcycle did Evel Knievel mostly use for his stunt work? Now, I've got to say, he used lots of different bikes, right? But the one that he used mostly was a Harley-Davidson. Which one was it? Which one? This is the second from last question, by the way. So if you're really bored by this, then I do apologize. But there we go. I thought it'd just be a bit of fun for everybody. And if you're driving in your car, whatever, to work, and you've downloaded the podcast, and you're thinking, oh, what is it? What is that answer? He's got to be. What is it? So which Harley-Davidson motorcycle did Evel Knievel mostly use for his stunt work? I loved Evel Knievel growing up. I had the wind. No, actually, sorry, I tell a lie. My next door neighbor had the wind-up Evel Knievel thing that would you fire off the ramp as well. Then it would do pop wheelies and stuff. But could never get it to pop wheelies and stuff. On the TV advert, it was always saying, "Look, Evel Knievel, he can wheelie his bike, he can crash it like anybody," and all this kind of stuff. But great. And watching all the films with Evel Knievel and all the stunt work, it just captured the imagination. Even to this day, I'm a big kid, really, when it comes to it. Did anybody see Travis Pastrana copy the stunts that Evel Knievel did? I think he did it a couple of years ago in Las Vegas, and he completed the ones that Evel Knievel couldn't do as well. And it was brilliant. And basically the bikes were virtually exactly the same, and they were set up and produced by Roland Sands, would you believe? Yeah, that's right. Okay, so Sarge, that was the the previous question. It was the WLA. That was the one. Great motorcycle. Yeah, it was the US Army. That's right. So the first one is the latest question then, which Harley-Davidson motorcycle did Evel Knievel mostly use for his stunt work? And it was Anthony. You got that right. The WL45. That's right. Yeah, one of my favorite bikes. Well done. It's really weird. The messages aren't coming through straight away, so there might be a bit of a delay here. So sorry, guys. But anyway, the Harley-Davidson that Evel Knievel mostly used was the Harley-Davidson XR750 Ironhead, and it was a kind of a flat tracker style. Okay, nearly the 750. That's right. Yeah, That's right. It was Anthony, the XR700, the XR750. That's right. That's exactly what it was. So that's the one, the iconic Harley-Davidson, the one that he used. Oh, no, I can still see it now. It's just a fantastic bike. Went completely wrong for that kind of riding. Too heavy, too slow, poor power to weight ratio. But look, that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of that. If you can do it on that motorcycle that just isn't designed to do it, you know. Sport Glide Rider Dennis, I watched Evel Knievel jump 19 buses in 1969 so a speedway in Washington State. I think it was 750. Yeah, it was 750. Wow, did you really? So he came over to London at times, and he was doing the bus jump at Wembley Stadium, and I can't remember, did he crash on that one or whatever? But brilliant. Oh, what amazing 1969. Wow. Yeah. But if you ever get a chance, you watch the Travis Pastrana reenactment, if you will, of his stunts. Brilliant, really good. Okay, next one, and the last one, and then I will leave you for the afternoon. Okay, which motorcycle won the 1951. You're gonna have to Google this, by the way. Okay, quickly Google it, and you can do all that kind of stuff. But which motorcycle won the 1951 Isle of Man TT race, right? And why was it so special? And I'm gonna give you a clue here. What was the name of the frame of that motorcycle? And then you'll kind of understand why it was so special. Okay. So there we go. Anthony, yeah, D'Amico, yes, on an Indian. Yeah, he did ride other motorcycles, definitely. I don't know specifically which Indian he rode. I know he rode Triumphs, definitely. But most of the jumps I'm talking about, he did on the Harley-Davidson. But yeah, if he did stunts and whatever on the Indians, yeah, absolutely. I'm sure that's the case. But anyway, the last question then, as I said, there we go. Which motorcycle won the 1951 Isle of Man TT race, and why was it so special? What was the name of the frame used? Anybody? Might be a bit of a tough one. Okay, so there's a bit of a. I was just about to say what the answer was there. I better just shut up. I'll give you a clue. Shall I give you a clue? It was a British motorcycle. There we go. It was a British motorcycle. Won the Isle of Man TT race, one of my favorite races of all time. They've actually cancelled it for this year, quite rightly so, but they've cancelled it, as most sporting events have been cancelled so far. Anthony D'Amico, Travis Pastrana. Okay. Oh, did he do it on an Indian? Okay, I can't remember. I couldn't actually remember what Travis Pastrana did it. Did he do it on an Indian, or was it on? I thought it was on Harley Davidson's. He did that. Okay, I could be. I'll have to watch that again. Actually, yeah. Yeah, okay. But anyway, which motorcycle won the 1951 Isle of Man TT race, and why was it so special? What was the name of the frame? I'm going to go. It's gone. Right. And I've almost been on air for more than an hour, nearly an hour now. But look, I'll tell you what, the motorcycle that won the 1951 TT race was the 1951 Norton Manx, and it was on the very first featherbed frame. Okay, and it was also known as the featherbed Norton Manx. That was a frame that everybody wanted. That was a frame that everybody, in the motorcycle world, wanted it, and that's why they had the Triton, the hybrid of the Triumph motorcycles and the Norton, and they were putting the superior, what many people thought at the time, the superior Triumph engine into the featherbed frame. And that's what it was. No, it wasn't a matchless. Yes. So no, I'm talking about one particular race. No, I haven't checked all the other races of the time, so I couldn't tell you. But there we go. So yeah, 1951. It was the first time that the featherbed went to the TT. I hope I'm right on that one. I hope I'm right. I probably, knowing the way my day is going, I've probably got that wrong. But I'm hoping I'm right. Anyway, look, there we go. I hope you enjoyed that little quiz. Anyway. So there'll be more videos coming soon on a daily basis. You know, I'm still producing lots of videos, and well, I'm just going to be here, just keep on pumping out the content for you guys. Hopefully give you a bit of company, and then you can come and watch it later on and have a bit of a, you know, leave your comments as well and say, let us know, let us know where you are, what you're doing, what you're up to. So, you know, you can always come in on any of the future live streams and come and join the chat. But say if you're watching this afterwards, you know, just leave those comments, and then if you want to ask any of your questions, just you know, either email them in directly to. I've been getting quite a few more emails in recently asking me about particular things, especially on the seat video, which I did, the sundowner seat. So that's great. Always happy to answer any questions. You know, if you ask politely, then I might. But say, you know, if hide that one. There we go. But you know, I'll be here. I'm going to try and do another live show soon. I'm not sure when. I may try and do it in a couple of days' time. I will see, because I'm at work the next 2 days and then 2 nights. So I'll see about doing an afternoon show, maybe, or I might try and do a night show. I mean, let me know what you think if in the comments below. Do you prefer to watch these live streams in the afternoon, or would you prefer them in the evening as well? I suppose if you are still working, then probably the night time would be better. But obviously, depending on where you are in the world, you know, right now I'm not sure if it really makes much difference, really, does it? But anyway, look. It's been great spending an hour with you guys. I hope you actually found that entertaining. At least, so I'm going to come up with another series of 10 questions for you. Have a bit of fun with it as well. And so I'll come back on in a couple of days. Keep on tuning into the videos. Lots more coming. I'm going to be out on the bike tomorrow in the next few days as well, doing different rides as well. So hopefully you'll enjoy that as well, and you get a bit of first-hand experience of those rides as well, as I'm just just trying to keep you all busy as well. Anyway, what else can I say apart from be well, be safe, and all that kind of stuff? Stay indoors or keep away from people if you can, and hopefully this chaos will be over soon and we can get back to riding our bikes proper and enjoying ourselves. But until that time, as I say, just do what you can, and I'll catch you again. Better answer this. Ta-da now.